All right, Larry Krueger here at Levi's Stadium for the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video as we recap everything that happened on a Thursday, December the 11th, down here in Santa Clara. And of course, check out Pig and a Pickle, 2 locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out, and they do run out. So get there early, get some brisket chili. Tell them that Krug sent you. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. And thanks to everybody who came out to the Krug Show meet and greet last Sunday at Pig and a Pickle. And they got a brand new location opening in Petaluma later on in 2026. Looking forward to that. All right, let's talk little Niners today down here in Santa Clara. 49ers getting ready to take on the Tennessee Titans. Niners opened the 3-week practice window today for Yetur Gross-Matos. He's a guy who's having a great year when he has played, and they really need him badly as an interior rusher. He's been a very good interior rusher. So he had his practice window open today. He was on the practice field. I was standing over there by the D-line. I thought he looked really good. He was flying around. He was looking fast. He's got the hamstring tweak a couple times in the rear view. Hopefully it's officially in the rear view. But man, if the Niners could get a big closing finish from Yetur Gross-Matos, that could go a great distance to helping them be successful going forward. As far as the rest of today, who didn't practice, Sam O with the ankle did not practice. Tatum Bethune with the ankle did not practice. Nick Martin in the concussion protocol, he also continues not to practice. Kevin Givens returned to practice. CMC was limited in practice today because of illness. Illness is what they're stating on CMC. We should tell you these 49er practice reports this season are brought to you by our friends at Plank, the 50,000 square foot entertainment eatery at Jack London Square. Awesome spot, 70 TVs, 30-foot media wall. They've got outdoor beer garden. They've got bocce, bowling, arcade games. Krug Show listeners get 15% off now through the end of 2026. plankoakland.com. It's a great place to go, to hang out, to host your holiday party, bring friends, bring family. It sounds like I'm going to be doing some more broadcasts from there in 2026. I'm looking forward to that. plankoakland.com on the web. Once again, plankoakland.com. And thanks to Plank for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. All right, a couple other Niner notes. John Lynch stopped by this morning on the KMBR Morning Show with Murph and Marcus. And he talked about a number of different things. One of the things is Brandon Ayuk. When he was asked about Brandon Ayuk, he's like, there's nothing to add there. There's no update. So, you know, they really don't want to say anything more about Ayuk. I understand why. I don't think Ayuk's going to play another down for the Niners. It serves no purpose for Lynch and Shanahan to say, we hope he returns. When it doesn't sound like that's going to happen. If he does happen to return at the end of the regular season for a cameo or in the postseason, hey, you know what? In the name of winning, you know, you do whatever you can do. You use whoever you can use to win games. But I don't think Brandon Ayuk's going to play another down for the Niners. That'd be my guess. Lynch was asked about Brock Purdy's toe, and he said the training wheels have been off. He said no one's thinking about the turf toe. It's not affecting his play. It's more importantly, it's not affecting how Kyle calls the game. And I asked Brock about it after practice today. I said, hey, like in those first plays of the game last week against Cleveland, you had a couple bootlegs, and you know you're spurting away from Isaiah McGuire, and you're looking very much like Brock Purdy of old. How you feeling? And he said, I'm feeling good. So, you know, I believe what he says, but I also believe my eyes. And my eyes tell me the toe's feeling better because he had that spurt ability. And to me, that's a major part of his skill set. So that was great to see. Lynch was asked about Phillip Rivers today on the morning show, and he called the Colts unretirement, the Colt quarterback's unretirement courageous, which it absolutely is. You're 44. You haven't played in 4 years. You're 40. You haven't played in 5 years, almost 6 years, and you know it is courageous. But he also admitted there's some unknown to it. We really don't know. I don't know what to expect. I don't think anybody else does either. We're all going to find out together. And maybe Phillip Rivers goes this week against Seattle, and we get a little preview of what he may look like on Monday night against the Niners. 2 weeks from now when the Niners go to Indy and take on the Colts. But Lynch did say there's a lot of unknown. Lynch talked about Eric Kendricks. He said that he's excited to have him. It's unlikely that they're going to call him off the practice squad on Sunday against the Titans because of a minor calf strain. I saw Kendricks in the locker room today. He seemed to be in a good mood. Lynch described the Titans as a dangerous team with nothing to lose. And that's exactly, I think that's a good way to term it, because that's it. They are a dangerous team. They've got talent. They won last week. Any team in the NFL can beat any other team. You're always 2 turnovers away from losing. Connor Orr from Sports Illustrated reports that the Raiders made Robert Saleh a lucrative offer in the offseason to go there to become their defensive coordinator under Pete Carroll. Obviously, Saleh turned it down and came here instead. Could the Raiders, though, target Robert Saleh and or Mac Jones as a combination addition this offseason? I could definitely picture it. Definitely picture that. It's easy to envision. As far as Kyle Juszczyk, he was back at practice today with the rib injury. We talked to Kubiak and Saleh after practice. You know, I asked Kubiak, I said, is the Ricky Pearsall lack of production on Ricky, or is it on you guys? And when I said, is it on you guys, he was like, oh, us? I don't know if it's on us. Nobody wants to take any blame. The reality is Pearsall's not doing a whole lot. He has no touchdowns. He only has 20 receiving yards in 3 weeks since he's been back. He has 0 touchdowns in 7 games this year. He's a first-round pick. And he just said, hey, look, he's not doing anything wrong. It's just the life of a receiver in the NFL. The ball isn't finding him. That excuse can only go so far. Eventually, we're going to have to see production. It's really as simple as that. Robert Saleh told us that he felt like his team needed the bye week, that they were missing lots of tackles against Cleveland, and generally that means fatigue. And so I thought that was interesting today. He mentioned that. He also talked about how the Niners kind of changed what they're looking for at linebacker. That at first they used to have a mindset of a certain type body and a certain at middle backer as opposed to strong side, as opposed to weak side, where they're looking for smaller guys who can run. He said that's all changed now. He said they've got a total new mentality. They're looking for just, and it shifted in 2018, he said, just give me 3 linebackers. They're interchangeable. They can all play in different spots. He brought that up when he was asked about Curtis Robinson. And I think there's a lot of confidence in Curtis Robinson and how he plays the position, but also that these linebackers are pretty much interchangeable. He was asked about Purdy and how Purdy played in, or I should say Kubiak was asked about how Purdy played in Cleveland. And he mentioned how the emphasis was, hey, not necessarily throw the ball away. Brock had 7 balls that he threw away. But it was more, hey, look, you can't hold the ball against this defensive line. Simple as that. You got to get rid of the football. You can't hold it. You can't sit there and hold it all day. It's just not the way to live against that team, and it just won't work. So there you go. There's a little breakdown of everything that happened down here in Santa Clara. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Plank Oakland for doing an incredible job and being a sponsor of the Krug Show. And we should also tell you thanks to Sleeper. 49er football season all season long is presented by Sleeper. Fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. It's a one-stop shop. You get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chats, season-long leagues, and Sleeper picks for daily fantasy. Use promo code Larry. Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Links in the description. Terms and conditions do apply. All right, let's finish up on my final thought on this video. Today was a great day in that, it's always great coming down here and covering the Niners. But I got some great footage of the Niner D-line drills. And Chris Kasarik is out there coaching his ass off. He has injuries. He's dealing with backups. He's got to get his guys going and playing well. He knows it. And he is just coaching with so much energy. If you get a chance, check out some of the videos that I put out today from practice. We got up close with the Niner D-line, and you could see up close how much energy, devotion, passion Chris brings to his craft. And I just want to highlight that and just say I'm impressed by him. And I've been impressed by what he's been able to do without Nick Bosa. They're getting pressures. And I asked Robert Saleh, this is another one that I should mention. I asked Robert Saleh, I said, you guys play a lot of games up front. You're stunting and you're twisting and you're moving guys around. I said, is that more about the quarterback that you're facing? Or is that more about, just trying to put your defensive linemen in the best spot to succeed. Because you could argue the Niners don't have that interior player that can just win one-on-one. He brought up the fact that he likes to look for offensive line mismatches, and that oftentimes when they're playing lots of games up front, it's not about the quarterback that they're going against. It's not necessarily even about the talent that they have in the game at any one time. It's about trying to get a certain matchup one-on-one with a certain lineman, a certain offensive lineman against a Niner defensive lineman. And so it's their way to say, hey, we want this guy on that guy, and this is how we're going to do it. And he said they generally do it to exploit what they think is a weak offensive lineman. Interesting stuff. Anyway, thanks to Pig in a Pickle, thanks to all of you, and thanks to Plank Oakland, thanks to Sleeper, and thanks for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.